quite impressive, isn't it? A monster around the tower. A good idea. Very good, in fact. In the tower, we're building a museum. It'll be the first one ever of its type. It will be devoted solely to the monsters, Western and Oriental. All sorts of monsters, ancient and new. The elevator will run right to the top, into the monster's head. Over 150 feet high. Lights for aircraft, a contribution to the community. But the rest is for kicks. Everything they want here, including peace. Peace. That's what they want.
But don't they have peace already, though?
They don't. Not a real peace, just a sham.
Well, hello everybody. This is Phil, the Kaiju King, from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati. And this video is a redo video of one of my very first videos. My earlier videos, I was having some pretty bad audio video issues. And if you watch the original video on this, you can really hardly even hear me. So I thought I'd go back and do a redo video. And by my intro, you can tell this is about a custom sculpt I had made by Mark Sang-Yang. It is the Godzilla Tower from the 1972 film, one of my favorite films, by the way, Godzilla vs. Gigan. I will bring that sculpt forth right away. Alright, here we are. This is the Godzilla Tower, 1972, from the film Godzilla vs. Gigan. It is a 30 centimeter in scale. It is on a base which makes him roughly an inch taller than our figures. So, but it's a pretty nice deal. As far as this movie, it is one of my favorite movies, basically because of Gigan, because Gigan is my favorite Godzilla adversary and villain. Has been and always probably will be my favorite adversary for Godzilla. And when I first watched this movie and seen this tower, it was really cool looking, actually. And of course, you could tell it wasn't a real Godzilla or anything, but it was definitely a good replica of Godzilla, in my opinion. It's pretty cool looking, and I love the whole little speech like I have in my intro about the tower and the playland and everything that the guy gives, which is all a deceitful whole organization that is being very deceitful to the Earthlings. They are just trying to take over the Earth and using a child's play land for peace and everything, peace and perfect peace, as they say. They're using it as a cover for their diabolical plans of trying to take over the Earth. And by taking over the Earth, they enlist King Ghidorah to help their monster, which is Gigan. I just love the design of Gigan. It's my favorite villain design. He's really cool design. He's part cyborg, part kaiju. He's just really unique in my opinion. I love how he has the hook feet and the hook hands, and I do love the Showa Gigan. The Final Wars Gigan is okay to me, but for me, for my money's worth, Showa Gigan will always be the best Gigan. Unless he makes it into the MonsterVerse, because so far I like the designs the MonsterVerse has done with all the Toho monsters. They did a really good job on all of them, in my opinion. So I would love to see Gigan make it into the MonsterVerse. I think that would be really cool. But that movie it is plagued with some issues, like a lot of stock footage, unfortunately. But I do love it anyway. And everybody knows Gigan was the first monster to make Godzilla bleed, and he put a real good beating on Godzilla in that movie, and I was glad Gigan got into another film too, so it was always nice seeing him make a multiple film appearance, which means he must have been pretty well received, I would think, in that day, that they would put him in another film, and it was actually the very next film. So, but as far as this goes, the Godzilla Tower, I contacted Mark Sang-Yang about it, wanting to do it, and he took on the challenge of it. And I knew he had some issues with it, but he got it done, and I do think it's pretty good representation of that tower, and the details in the tower from the movie are in this. As far as the actual sculpt here, like I said, it's on a wooden base. And starting with the tail, it just pretty much it's elevated because it's on the base, and it goes straight back, pretty much straight back. And of course on the side of the tail it's got their, I call it rectangular scales, because that's what they look like in the movie. As far as his back plates, they are dark in the middle and have the silver outline. And there are 2 rows of plates on his back, just like the actual tower in the film. But these plates are really accurate to what they are in the movie, in my opinion anyway. Like I said, on his body, all over is the rectangular scales, which is what I call them, because that's what they look like in the movie, rectangular scales to me. It's really unique scaling on the figure. It's quite a bit different from Godzilla's texture on his skin, which is more traditional tree bark layout, but this is definitely rectangular shaped scales on the skin and everything, which is really cool. As far as his toenails and fingernails, they are the straight up white here. He's got some gray tones in them. It's grayish white, I would say. The positioning's perfect. The toenails are pretty much straight out, just like in the film. The fingernails, the hands are at a cupped angle like this on either side of the tower, of course, and they look really good in my opinion. As far as his head and everything, his eyes are the white with the blue pupil, which is what the tower had in the film. And it's really pretty much the face and everything to me is dead on. It's smooth texture all around the cheekbones and the nose and the upper jaw and nostril here. It's all really smooth, which is like that's how it is in the film. The teeth are all nicely done. They look fake, but they were fake because it was on the tower. So to me that is a really accurate rendition of the tower's teeth. And I mean it just screams the Godzilla tower. He did a really good job on this thing. As far as I know, the one thing he said he had the most trouble with was the actual tower. It has really good details on it, starting at the bottom here with the elevator entrance area. And then if you look at it, you can see the actual shaft. He even took time to put the elevator shaft in there. And you can also see the stairs that climb to the tower, the top of the tower. I mean, it's really detailed. It's got the fencing in the middle areas, middle section of the tower, the cage fencing that is also on the tower in the movie. It's really nicely done, but like up here you can really see at the top and at the bottom, either top or bottom, you can see the ladders that climb the levels of the tower. It's just it's pretty impressive details he put into this thing. But even like I said, if you look in there, you can see the elevator shafts where the elevator comes up. Just a lot of little details. But I do recall Mark saying that he had some issues with the tower part. But I like it. I like how he did it. And I'd say if he ever did another one, it would probably be even better than this one. So, honestly. And even back here, in between his legs, there was a yellow like wall. Like a brace in between his legs. He even has that on here. If you watch the movie, you'll see this yellow brace type thing in between the tower's legs. He's even got that back there, and it's yellow, representing the same thing. I mean, it's really good details. Just little stuff like that you notice that on it that makes you see that he definitely had some time and inventiveness into this thing. But it's really nice sculpt. It's nicely done. I don't have an issue with him putting it on the base. I mean, I think he had to because of the tower and everything to keep it stable. So, makes sense. Even up here under his chin, the piece that connects the chin to the tower, if you watch the movie, this looks like it. Looks like the same kind of paint, coloring, and everything. So I really can't complain on this thing at all. Like I said, it is a 30 centimeter scale. It's pretty nicely done. I will bring up some X Plus brethren to scale with this guy. And we'll do that right away. Alright everybody, I've brought up my 30 centimeter Gigan 72 X Plus to scale with the tower here. And they look pretty cool together, in my opinion. They, of course, like I said, this tower's on a base, which makes it about 3/4 of an inch to an inch taller, so he would be a little bit shorter, of course, if he wasn't on the base. But as far as scaling, I think even if he's not on this base, he would still scale well with Gigan, because Gigans should probably even be taller than this, actually. I'm pretty sure everybody's complaint with this Gigan is it needs to be taller. Other than that, I love this Gigan, but I do agree it does need to be like maybe an inch taller, especially his horn, because he was taller than Godzilla in the film, and they're basically almost the same height as far as the 68 Godzilla in this, so. But these look really cool together. Anyway. Alrighty. We'll go on to another size comparison right now. Alright, I have brought forth the 30 centimeter Anguirus 68, which Anguirus is Godzilla's best bud and tag team partner in the later show of films, and he looks really good scaled up to this tower. Of course, Anguirus is a crawler, so he's going to be shorter, but his length is really impressive for this figure. I think they've got everything right with this Anguirus. It's one of the best sculpts there is, in my opinion, X Plus has done. His tail's really long, but it is long in the film, so makes sense. But he looks really good with this Godzilla tower. Pretty cool looking, I must say. Alright, let's move on to another size comparison right now. Alright everybody, I've brought forth 25 centimeter King Ghidorah 1968. It's pretty much, I'm pretty sure, is the suit that was in this film. Can you even imagine what a King Ghidorah 30 centimeter would be? It would be just, woo, mind-boggling size. But this thing is really big, in my opinion, to begin with. So 30 centimeter would be just crazy. Like he'd probably be, his heads would probably be up here. His wings would probably be up here. Just crazy. But these look really cool together too. Mark did a really good job on this tower, I must say. Alrighty, let's do our final size comparison, and you can probably guess what that'll be, and we'll go to that right away. Alright everybody, final size comparison. X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla 68. We don't have a 72, maybe someday. I know heard Matt Jacobson, or Gojira 851 on YouTube, say multiple times he'd love to see a 72. So me too, because that's my favorite suit. 68 through 72 and the 73 through 75, those are my favorite suits tied, as far as design of Godzilla and everything. But these look pretty cool together. Of course, the tower was a bit taller than Godzilla in the movie, so I think even with him on, without the base, it would still be good sizing for this X Plus figure. They look good. Alright, we'll do some quick closing comments on this, and I'll close my video, and we'll do that right after this. Alright, I'm back. Closing comments on this Godzilla tower. I would highly recommend this. I'm really hoping actually X Plus would give us something like this thing for all the collectors. But that's why I went after it with Mark, because he said he could do it, and he I think you did a really, really good job with this thing. I love it. I love the accuracies on it. I think it's very accurate. I think he had some issues with the tower, if I'm correct, but he got it done anyway, and I appreciate him for it. And I think it scales well with this collection, and I really am happy I did end up doing that. And I still do hope Xbus gives us a Godzilla tower, because if they do, I will buy it. Love to see it in 30 centimeter scale, just like this. So I think it would be really cool if they gave it to us, and even if it's on a base, that would be cool. They would probably do more of a detailed diorama type base with ground and everything, and actually be kind of cool if they gave us a big base with it that was like the whole playland. That would be really neat, I think. If they gave us that with the mushrooms and stuff like that are at the child's playland, it would be really cool. But I highly recommend, if you'd want something like this, that you could always contact Mark if you feel free, and he could probably quote you a price for one. But it was definitely a labor of love, and I can tell, and he did a good job on it, and I love it, and I'm glad I got it. We'll go to some close-up video of this lineup here, and I will close my video with that. And I want to thank everyone for watching and tuning into my channel. I appreciate everybody. This is Phil, the Kaiju King, and I'll be signing off from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.